South Africa, the ANC is done. And I'm not just talking about them losing a few votes here and there. I'm talking about a political party that has run out of moral currency, out of excuses, and definitely out of time. I am Nikki Wanimo, and this is News and Politics. Today we are breaking down why the ANC is no longer relevant and why it's time to let go. Let's get to it. We've reached a point where corruption is no longer a scandal in the ANC. It's just Tuesday. And the latest string of events shows us why this party should no longer be anywhere near the levels of power. Let's start with the 700 million national dialogue. 700 million rand. What is this national dialogue? Apparently, it's meant to be a conversation about the future of the country. Sounds nice, right? Until you hear the price tag. 700 million rand for a few people to sit in a conference center, drink tea, eat muffins, and tell South Africans what's wrong with the country, as if we don't already know. This is not a solution. It's a way for the ANC insiders, consultants, and connected tenderpreneurs to cash in on another pointless government initiative, while the rest of us are struggling to buy bread. You don't need 700 million to talk to the people. You need political will. You need honesty. You need leaders who actually listen. And the ANC has none of those things left. Now, let's talk about the next issue that makes them so irrelevant. The police minister, who's also an ANC member of parliament. This is not just any minister. This is a man who was supposed to be the country's top political authority over the law enforcement, the one who should have been protecting the public, cleaning up SAPS, and making sure criminals have nowhere to hide. Instead, he was protecting the very criminals the police are supposed to be chasing, allegedly. I'm talking about the police minister who has now been ousted by General Mkhwanazi. This is the same minister who has been accused of interfering in police investigations, shielding dodgy individuals, and undermining honest cops who were trying to do their jobs. The same minister who would rather keep his political allies safe than the streets safe. General Mkhwanazi himself went public and basically said enough is enough. He blew the whistle on how the minister was meddling, how criminals were being given cover, how the political head of the police was treating SAPS like a personal protection service for the connected and the corrupt. Think about how dangerous that is. Man in charge of the police is protecting criminals. Who is left to protect the public? This is why trust in the SAPS is in the gutter. Because South Africans see this and realize the police are not broken by accident. They are being broken deliberately from the top down. And it's not just one bad minister. It's the ANC culture, where loyalty to the party and its friends come before loyalty to the law. Mkhwanazi has now exposed him, which is exactly why the ANC is in crisis mode. Because when one of their own top cops refuses to play along, the whole rotten system is at risk of being uncovered. And this rot isn't limited to one portfolio. Let's talk about the deputy president, a man who reportedly owns multiple lavish mansions, while ordinary South Africans are drowning in debt. Unemployment is at crisis level, and millions can't even have a decent place to live. Do you know how insulting it is for people who can barely put food on the table to watch leaders living in obscene luxury while preaching sacrifice and service to the people? This isn't service, this is self-service. And then, of course, there's the president himself, Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa. Remember Phala Phala? Remember the US dollars stuffed in furniture? Remember the secret cover-ups, the dodgy explanations, the refusal to take full accountability? That was the moment many South Africans realized the ANC was never going to reform itself. Because if a man at the very top, the so-called Mr. Clean of the ANC, can't be transparent about his own dealings, what hope is there for the rest of them? Add all this together and you have a ruling party that is not just corrupt, it's ungovernable. It cannot clean itself up because corruption isn't a side effect of the ANC. Corruption is the ANC. And here's the truth. The ANC knows it's losing power. You can see it in the desperation, in the endless political stunts, in the way they keep talking about a renewal while doing the exact opposite. They will cling to power until the very last minute because they know the day they lose it, the day a real government takes over, the investigations will no longer stop at the surface. And this is where I want to talk to the voters directly. We need to stop enabling bad governance. We cry and complain about corruption, crime, collapsing infrastructure, load shedding, and poverty. But when elections come, we put the very same people back in power. It's like complaining about the taxi driver who drives reckless and then handing him your car keys again the next day. We need to break this cycle. It's not just the ANC voters, EFF supporters, MK party voters. You need to hear this too. If your leader can never be criticized, if in your eyes, your leader is always right, no matter what they do, you are part of the problem. You are enabling the same kind of blind loyalty that keeps corruption alive. If someone questions your leader or criticizes your leader and your first response is, "Don't touch him, he's always right," you've already closed the door on your own accountability. And without accountability, any political movement, no matter how good it claims to be, will eventually become the very thing it claims to be fighting against. We cannot keep treating politicians like celebrities. They are not rock stars. They are not gods. They are our employees. We hire them with our vote, and we have every right to fire them when they fail. If we don't start holding leaders accountable, all leaders, not just the ones we don't like, then we keep getting played. And while we are fighting each other over party colors and personalities, the country will keep falling apart. And this is why we need a new government, not a reshuffled ANC, not an ANC-light coalition that still keeps them in control. We need a genuine change. We have alternatives, whether it's a coalition of smaller parties that genuinely care about service delivery, whether it's independents with real track records, whether it's new political movements rising to challenge the status quo. The country has options, but we can't just sit back and hope things will get better. We need to vote like our lives depend on it, because at this point, they do. The ANC has had 3 decades to prove itself. And what do they have? Collapsing infrastructure, a police service in disrepute, schools falling apart, hospitals running out of basic supplies, electricity blackouts that have turned into a way of life, and leaders living in obscene luxury while telling us to tighten our belts. Enough! If we give them another 5 years, it's not going to magically get better. It's going to get worse, because the ANC doesn't just fail. It fails upwards. The more they mess up, the more they protect each other. The writing is on the wall, and the wall says, ANC, your time is up. South Africa deserves better. I'm Nikki Wenimo for News and Politics, and I'll see you on the next one.